Parenting is one of the most exciting roles that our Heavenly Father has entrusted us with. Yet at the same time and in the same breath, one of the most challenging roles. Parenting and online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic presented itself with some challenges. Listen out to hear a parent's perspective right here on Transforming Minds with Lisa. Good morning. Welcome to Transforming Minds with Lisa. And this morning I have two wonderful young ladies with me. And at this time I'm just going to ask them to introduce themselves. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, good morning. My name is Apostle Chantal Ness. First, let me say that I am very honored to be here. A little bit about Apostle Chantal. Well, I am the founder of New Birth Apostolic Deliverance Ministries International. I am a wife to one husband.
Wonderful.
I have two beautiful children. I am an author, and I recently released my first single called I Found Him. And that's me in a nutshell.
Wonderful. Welcome, Chantal, Apostle Chantal. And on my left,
it's Nikita Alvin. I'm a mother of three sons, and I'm an entrepreneur, self-employed of Adonai Collections with fashion designing. I also do, can get a little art in it, hand painting, yeah. Specialize in some face masks now.
wow.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Been Adonai Collections was founded from 2001, and I expanded from I was at Prince Gospel working at first, and because I had left community college, doing the fashion designing, and I went into Prince Gospel, and from there I just left. I went into self-employed from there. And I was working in between and doing the clothing and stuff like that, expanded. And I have a Facebook page and Instagram. Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Adonai Collection.
Wonderful. Now you can see why I said I have some interesting guests with me today. Now, we're going to be talking today about school online, and as you would have heard, they're both mothers, and it's going to be, please tell us the ages of your children.
Okay, my son is 8 years old, my daughter is 6, and I also have my nephew who's with me most of the time. He's 6 as well.
Oh, so 8, 6, and 6. All right, Makita.
My oldest son, he's 27, actually mother of.
Ooh. You had a strict.
Yeah.
27 years.
27, 16, and
okay.
11. Wow. The 27 one, he's artist, real handsome.
Okay.
We have some albums out. Actually, he's on dancer on John Yard's new video, Jesus Best Thing Ever.
Okay, nice.
Proud of my sons, yeah.
So she's a mother of 3 boys. Okay. Now, we're going to be talking about school online and that whole experience. So, first let me find out from you, how has it been for you as parents? You can go ahead first.
It's been challenging for me. The first challenge that I've had is limited devices in the home. So I have had to try to kind of share devices between children. Some of them have classes that clash. All three of them have assignments from multiple teachers that are due sometimes at the same time. Outside of that, I've had to try to figure out a way around my own personal life. Because they're normally at school, outside of COVID-19, they would normally be at school, which would allow me time to do ministry and to work on other areas of my life. But then I've had to find a way to reorganize myself.
You stick a pin right there because I want to know more about that process from you. So I really am interested to hear about that. Wakita.
For me, also was challenging, or still is. And just like her, I had problems with devices.
Yeah.
I also had one laptop, but before the government said that they will give you a device, I went and purchased a tablet.
Right.
And for the 11+1, his teacher actually used to do Zoom classes at first before the Google School started.
Okay,
right.
cool.
So that kind of helped for him, but the Google School was not on the tablet. So then I sent into the email for another device, which I finally got. So it has been, it was a big help then after then.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I guess what I should have asked then before I got to that question was really, how has it been for you during the lockdown period? Because I know it would have been, there was a period of time where there wasn't any school going on. They were dismissed from school early. So the term came to pretty much an abrupt end. And for most persons, some persons would have still been going out to work before the total shutdown of the island. Did that impact you in any form or fashion?
Well, for me personally, it didn't initially because both myself and my husband, we are stay-at-home parents.
Okay.
So we didn't have to work around a work schedule per se. I think where our challenge mostly came is that we pretty much got a new appreciation for school teachers and what they do, to be very honest.
Okay.
My initial headache came, one of the first assignments I saw came through was Spanish. Now I am fluent in two things, English and Bajan dialect. So I didn't understand a thing. So I sent a note very nicely to the teacher, and I told her, well, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, because I don't understand anything that you just went through. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to help my son with this. So, and that was just the Spanish. Then there was the science. Subjects that I myself did not do well in school, that I could not understand at school, and they're teaching it on a whole different level now. I mean, I'm looking at the monitors and I'm like, okay. So I have found a very new relationship with Google.
Best friend now.
So my challenge mostly came in having to assist them and having to break down. And then too, one of the major challenges on my end is the internet doesn't work as well as it should.
Okay.
So the children miss a lot because it's sticking on our end. Sometimes the program, because I don't have a very high scale system that they're using, so sometimes it crashes and they miss a lot. So I have to try to be there, trying to see if I can explain what the teacher is trying to say. And then too, let me say you have 10 children on. Sometimes they have their microphones on. Their backgrounds are very noisy. So hearing on our end and trying to understand what the teacher is saying is challenging because everybody's microphone is on and then the children are restless and so much, it's so busy. So my challenge came from having to take on teacher role and try to explain things that I myself didn't really understand. I learned in the process of doing so, but it has been challenging.
Okay. Makita?
Yes, for me, well, I also working from at home doing this sewing. So, but my challenge is that my sons they love the YouTube.
Oh.
They play the games sometimes, but they love the YouTube. So they would be doing the work, and I would say, well, when you finish, I mean, when the class is finished, but they would go straight into the YouTube and they're not telling you that the class is finished. So that's the challenge. You have to get behind them. And I have a C1 and 11 plus. So I have both challenges. So it was like, okay, we're in school. You might be in my front house, you might be in the house, but we are still in school. You have to be focused. So it takes away from, you have to put more time into it with them, because you can't leave them alone and go on and do your stuff, because they get distracted, and so you have to keep reminding them all the time that you're in school, you're not home.
Okay.
They get kind of to relax and straight away.
Yeah, I've had that as well.
Yeah. Well, being a parent myself, I can understand where you're going with that, because things like subtraction is done differently now. So opposed to my time, I was like, okay, yeah, all right, once we get by the same answer, you get by the same answer, okay, we're good, right? And then I had to make time and go to the school and let the teacher explain to me, this is how we're doing it now. This is what you would have learned in your day. And by no means I'm letting my age out, Dawn. Yeah, I'm still very young, but it's being done differently. And I had one that tried to trick me. We were supposed to be doing school, and I went into the kitchen, and I came back and heard it was George of the Jungle or something going on. Okay. So, I know how that goes. So you have to really keep it going with them. We have been taught as a people, parents, guardians, that when we go through rough patches, we ought to rough it out, toughen up, and be strong. Indeed, this pandemic was rough and tough on many parents, not only here in Barbados, but right across the world. But can I be real with you? Yes, we are super at what we are doing, magnificent, resilient, even wise and selfless. But we are humans with real emotions. And it's okay to cry sometimes without feeling deflated or even defeated. You are not a failure. And let no one make you feel less than a person just because you need to take a moment, step away from it all, and be emotional just for a little while. So then my question now is how was it for the children? How do you think the children, because they're still going through it, so how do you think they're coping?
I think it's been challenging for them. Some of my kids, they miss the school environment. They're missing friends. I think focusing has been a severe challenge, and for me especially with my daughter. That year doesn't pay attention at all. No, okay. And she's brilliant, she's really intelligent. But for some reason, the online thing is just not working for her. She's very easily distracted. And I said, Ms. Andrea, what is going on? Why aren't you paying attention? And she said, Mommy, I don't know. Every time I try to pay attention, I just can't. And I think what's happening with her is that because it bothers me and I'm not in the class. The children are keeping so much noise on the other end, and it is almost, well, some parents have to work, so they're not able to be hands-on to supervise them. They're doing all kinds of things, and then the teacher has to stop and keep repeating herself, or keep telling them don't do that, or turn off your mic, and then I find that some teachers have mastered the setup of the program wonderfully, but then there's some who are still trying to understand it. And so the teacher that has mastered it knows that she can mute the mic from her end. The one that has not is busy telling the children, mute your mic, turn off your mic, but doesn't understand that she has the power to do it on her end. So I'm sitting there and I'm hearing this, and I mean these children. What I will say is this though, I don't have this challenge because I'm a disciplinarian straight across the board. But for parents who often think that their children are saints, for parents who often
Ooh, she's going there.
don't seem to show up when the teachers are calling them to be with their children, I think that when September opens back, that the school is going to see an improvement where parents are concerned, because parents are frustrated with their own children. And I think they're now understanding what teachers are dealing with on an everyday basis.
Oh, interesting perspective and well said. Makita, what about your boys?
My boys, well, the 16-year-old, he just was, he's not comfortable with it.
Oh,
He said he'd prefer to be in school. If the 11-year-old now, he likes it. He don't mind. So I have to keep telling him all the time, you are still in school. Reminding him. And actually, he had to go to school on the 15th, when they had to start going back out, so he goes 3 times a week. I actually glad for that, because it kind of get him back into the atmosphere.
Right.
Because especially him, 11-year-old, he was
a bit comfortable?
Yeah, comfortable. But the 16-year-old say, no, he preferred the classroom. He preferred being in school.
okay.
Well, my other challenge, sorry for asking one.
Go ahead.
My daughter is addicted to me. Even when she was going out to school every morning, she cries.
Oh dear.
Every single morning. Some days I might be able to get her, but every morning she cries, Mommy, I want you. So having her at home, doing the classes, if I put her at the dining table, and I'm in the living room doing my own thing, she walking out in the class, Mommy, can come to you? So I am kind of a distraction, even when I'm not trying to be, simply because she's still attached.
Wow. And well, I never even thought of that, which would mean that if she's like that now, when you have to take her back into school, she now has to readjust all over again to going out to school every day and not having Mommy by her side all the way.
But you see, I have devised a plan. My husband will deal with that.
Okay. Okay, hubby, you're hearing this. You're hearing this, hubby. You will have to deal with this.
She never really detached. She's very, very, very attached. And eventually we got her to settle into the school environment, but then this happened.
Wow.
So now she is. I mean, she literally sleeps on me every night.
Oh.
She sleeps. If I am on my back, she climbs on. If I am on my stomach, she climbs onto my back. If I try to lay on my hip, she climbs onto the other hip. She literally sleeps on me every night. She's 6. So that has been. My son, he's attached as well, but he's older. So he's more able to focus.
And I guess he had time to adjust, a bit longer time to adjust as well, because he's been 8. Well, and you're saying she's 6.
Yeah.
They go to school I think they go to nursery from around 4, which means that the teachers are going to have another challenge on their hand, because if I remember correctly, I know with my sons, they took them in batches so as to get them settled.
Right.
So here it is that all of those efforts to get them settled between and the 4-year-olds and the 5-year-olds, get them settled, we're going to have to repeat all of that come the reopening of school, whatever date that will be. So that is another interesting point, because being home with your parents so long, I think they can kind of get really attached all over again, and then you have to kind of yank them away suddenly all over again. So teachers, brace yourself for the crying all over again. We're sorry to have done this to you, but we didn't do it. COVID did it to you. Sorry. Yes. So, Makita, being a parent, because I heard you mention the age gap in your children. So you have one that is sitting 11 plus, so there's like a 5-year gap. One sitting 11 plus, and then you have one doing the 11 CSCs. Now, how are you able to cater to each child's needs at the same time, simultaneously? How do you manage that? I know you say you're working from at home, but I guess there's still a demand on you from your customers and clients. So how?
Well, with the help of God, able to manage. I will still try to set aside the time when they have a class, because I also have the emails attached to my phone. So
Okay,
I know
great.
when class is starting and when it's supposed to be in class or not. So what I would do is when they're in class, I would try to go and do some work on site. But other than that, they usually sit and do the class. They don't complain. My challenge is just after the class, don't go into movies and YouTubers. That's my challenge. But other than that, they're disciplined enough because I'm strict also in discipline, and they know this is school, no time to play. You might be home, but you're still in class, and you have CXCs coming up, you have 11 plus coming up, you have exams, so you can't waste time.
Okay.
But I believe that, to me, is a whole setback. The whole online thing, to me, is a kind of setback for the children. A lot of children. We had a meeting with the parents, and one of the parents was saying that her daughter, she don't think that the daughter is ready for 11 plus if they can't pull it back. But then the principal say, it's coming on to the end of the year. The other children have to sit, and so they can't do anything about it. So, but we can only do what we can do.
They're putting it back as in the child, or
For the
they're putting back the whole exam?
She was saying that they're not ready because she said her daughter's not ready.
See, now, I have a personal view on that, and that is, I know some may differ in their opinion, and that's quite okay. But our children, they go to school and they're being prepared for, quote unquote, this 11 plus, and from class 1. I believe that by the time you get to class 4, it should just be revision. I don't believe that in class 4 we're still learning new concepts. I believe that that's just revision time. So in that period, if there's anything that you haven't got, then we're working to get you strengthened in that area, but not an opportunity to be now teaching concepts. So I understand that, parents are going to have their concerns, but I'm trusting that now that they're going back out to school, that any of those areas that need to be strengthened, they would have the opportunity to strengthen.
That's why they started back at school. The principal said that.
Okay.
I think it was 4 weeks, so that they could get the atmosphere of back into school, because they're getting comfortable at home.
Yes.
So they try to set their minds back into the school atmosphere. So that's why they do that. So he goes 3 days a week, or half day.
Okay, only 3 days.
3 days.
Okay, I wasn't sure how many days they were going. Okay,